Hello, everyone. This is Laura, and welcome back to Become a Fluent English Speaker. Today, I want to tell you about something very small, something that took less than a minute. But strangely, I remembered it for years. It happened on an ordinary morning. I was walking to work when I noticed a man standing outside a small coffee shop. He looked tired. His clothes were simple. His shoes were wet from the rain. He was holding a paper cup and looking at the people walking past him. Most people were in a hurry. Nobody stopped. I was in a hurry too. I had an important meeting that morning. I was already thinking about what I needed to say. Then I noticed something. The man was trying to open a small packet of sugar with one hand. His other hand was holding his coffee. He struggled for a few seconds. I opened the packet for him and handed it back. He looked at me and smiled. "Thank you," he said. "Have a beautiful day." That's all. Less than a minute. Then I continued walking. I almost forgot about it. Until that evening. After work, I returned to the same coffee shop. The man was still there. This time, he was sitting at a table near the window. When he saw me, his face immediately changed. He smiled and waved. I walked over. He said, "I remember you." I smiled and said, "I remember you too." Then he told me something I didn't expect. He had been having a terrible week. He had lost his job. He was worried about his family. He had spent the entire morning feeling invisible. Then I opened that little packet of sugar for him. He said, "For a few seconds, I felt like someone noticed me. I didn't know what to say." I had thought I had done almost nothing, but to him, it meant something. That conversation changed the way I think about kindness. We often imagine that kindness has to be something big. We think we need to donate money, help someone for hours, make a huge sacrifice. But kindness doesn't always look like that. Sometimes kindness is holding a door open. Sometimes it's asking someone, "Are you okay?" Sometimes it's letting someone go ahead of you in a line. Sometimes it's simply listening. And sometimes it's opening a tiny packet of sugar for someone who can't do it with one hand. The interesting thing is that we often don't know the effect of our actions. You might smile at someone who is having a terrible day. You might compliment someone who has been feeling insecure. You might encourage someone who is thinking about giving up. You may never discover what your words meant to them, but that doesn't make them less important. In fact, some of the most meaningful moments in our lives are completely ordinary. A teacher who believed in us, a friend who called at the right moment, a stranger who helped us when we were struggling, a parent who listened when nobody else did. These moments may look small from the outside, but inside someone's memory, they can become enormous. After that day, I started paying more attention to small opportunities to help people. I stopped asking myself, "Is this important enough to matter?" Instead, I asked, "Can I make this person's day a little easier?" Sometimes the answer was yes. And sometimes it was something incredibly simple. A smile, a compliment, a few minutes of attention, a helping hand. I learned that kindness doesn't require a perfect life. You don't need to have lots of money. You don't need to be extremely confident. You don't need special skills. You simply need to notice people, because people are often carrying problems we know nothing about. The person sitting quietly beside you may be worried about their future. The person who seems impatient may have had a terrible morning. The person who looks confident may secretly feel completely lost. We rarely know the whole story. That's why a little kindness can be so powerful. Before we finish today's podcast, let's learn some useful English vocabulary from today's story. Kindness means being friendly, helpful, and considerate towards someone. Invisible means feeling as though nobody notices or recognizes you. Struggle means to have difficulty doing something. Sacrifice means giving up something valuable to help someone else. Compliment means saying something positive about someone. Encourage means giving someone confidence or hope. Meaningful means having an important emotional value. Ordinary means normal and not unusual. Now here's today's challenge. Before you finish your day, do one small thing that makes another person's life a little easier. It could take 10 seconds. It could take 1 minute. Don't wait for a big opportunity. Look for a small one. Because you never know. That tiny action might be the moment someone remembers for the rest of their life. Before you leave, answer today's question in the comments. What's the smallest act of kindness you've ever received that you still remember? I'd love to read your stories. If you enjoyed today's English listening podcast, don't forget to subscribe to become a fluent English speaker. This is Laura, and remember, you don't have to change someone's whole life to make a difference. Sometimes, you just have to make their next minute a little better. Keep listening, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next podcast.